Let's talk about the Klon Centaur for a sec. The question isn't, what does John Mayer sound like without a Klon? The question is, what does the Klon sound like without John Mayer? I wrote a script. The Klon being $5,000 today. I actually think it's worth closer to $6,000 today. But it was $5,000 when I wrote this, which that says something. The Klon being $5,000 today will obviously influence any objective opinion of it. And the fact that it's been made legendary by legends won't help either. So it's difficult to know for sure when somebody says it's the best pedal they've ever played, if you believe them. Not that they wouldn't be telling you the truth, but that the truth would be so heavily influenced by these factors. To say, is it worth $5,000 is silly, because it obviously is. That's how much it's worth. That's how much people pay for it. The question would be, why? Why would you pay $5,000 for a pedal, as we've seen lots of people do? The answer is pretty simple. The reason it's worth $5,000 is not because it sounds good. Because of those other factors. Factors we can sum up in one word as hype. And that starts a whole nother conversation, because is anything ever worth the hype? The answer is always yes and no, technically. Because no matter what, unless you're getting scammed, you get what you pay for. That's the rule. And just because you can't measure hype, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So let's say the Klon itself is worth $250 alone. That means you're paying for like $5,000 worth of hype. You're going to get your money's worth in hype. You'll get likes on your Instagram, and you'll get views on your YouTube channel, hopefully, and you'll get strongly worded opinions from strangers. So I would buy a Klon if I can afford one. Not because it would make me be a better guitarist or sound better, but I would buy it for the hype and maybe as an investment. As for clones, like the one we're going to talk about today, the J-Rocket Archer, the reason why somebody would make a clone is because if something has hype, then it probably also sounds good, almost as a byproduct. So for people who may want the sound without buying the hype, these are extremely viable options. Now, a clone will never be exactly the same as the original, but that doesn't necessarily mean it will be worse. It just means it will be different. Having never played a Klon, I can't tell you if this J-Rocket Archer does its job, but I can tell you that it sounds good for its own sake. So about the Archer, I would say the strong point of the Archer is the way it gets along with others. The way it sounds after getting smashed in the face by a tube screamer is glorious, as well as the Blues Driver. Sounds amazing. By itself, it's pretty much never on by itself. It's always on with somebody else. It's always on in conjunction with some other pedal. I said the word conjunction. I did like the way it sounded alone with the 339 that I used to have. Just big, wide open humbuckers. Just kind of made everything a little tight. I will say, the treble here, this being straight up, this is not 0, and this being -0. By pulling it down, you aren't taking out treble. This is 0. This is no treble at all. And this is a really dark pedal, super dark pedal. It's pretty much always all the way up here. And I don't know. I don't know if that's accurate to what a Klon would be. I don't know if Klons are dark. I do plan on buying the Seritone Centura as soon as I finish making this video and sell this guy. One of my first pedals ever was a Tone City Bad Horse, which is technically a Klon, and we'll see how that sounds up against this guy. This is I think 160 bucks, maybe 180 bucks, and the Tone City Bad Horse is 30 if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see, won't we? Okay, we have the Archer and the Bad Horse set up side by side. For the purists, no, I didn't bypass anything. They're both overdrive pedals. The differences should be subtle enough. I'm gonna do some tone hunting and we'll see if we can get them lined up. Pretty curious about this. Bad Horse. So interesting, the Bad Horse has a lot more low end that I could pull out, but I'm trying to keep them similar or equal with most things. Usually you're impressed with how not bad the cheap stuff sounds. Either way, let's go for a gainier sound. So the second one was the Bad Horse. Again, sounds not bad. Sounds pretty good for the price. Definitely for 30 bucks. Definitely sounds very good for 30 bucks. Definitely a little bit muddier. Still, to my ears, they sound different. They have different tonal characteristics, but they're still both pretty good. Shockingly good. I guess the only way to tell is to get an actual Klon. But regardless of the Klon, they're both great pedals. Especially for the price. The Tone City Bad Horse is 30 bucks. Can't really go wrong, 30 bucks. There are generally two schools of thought, I would say, with the Klon. When it comes to the Klon, there's the full overdrive pedal, which would be like JHS. We'll just put them into camps. Josh from JHS would say it's an overdrive pedal. You won't get the magical clipping diodes unless you turn that gain up. And John Mayer, I would say, uses it mostly as part of a stack. It's very rarely used alone. It's pretty much always used in conjunction with a tube screamer, either the tube screamer hitting it or it hitting a tube screamer. I prefer the tube screamer hitting it. It just adds a certain characteristic, tonal characteristic that I very much enjoy. They want me to give you a call to action. They want me to say like and subscribe. I don't like saying like and subscribe, but you should. I'm trying to get entered into this YouTube partner program, and that means I need 1,000 subscribers. Do yourself a favor. If you like this content, I will be encouraged to make more of this content if you subscribe. Leave a comment if you feel like commenting, positive or negative, and have yourself a spectacular day. Outro.
A ver, cactus.
Quédate quieto un momento.
Baba Booey.